Today, we're going to talk about the main reason why I want to live in China. Welcome back to Soul Quest. Let's talk about street food. I would say eating street food is more like a gamble. Either you're going to taste the best food that you had your entire life, or either get sick the next day. But if you wait till the end of the video, I'll tell you some of the red flags when it comes to some of these vendors, so that way you don't get sick the next day. The main question still lingers, is it safe? Now, I would say most of the street food you're gonna be eating are usually safe. Of course, because they wanna maintain their business and it is in their best interest to keep the food clean and safe. Most of the modern generations are very picky when it comes to any of these street food. If they see that the area is not clean, they're probably not gonna buy it for them. And when it comes to these street food, lines are the most important thing. If they don't see any lines on this vendor itself, they probably won't have any interest. And if there are lines, that means there are repeat customer, which means the food there is safe and it's pretty good. I think that's a whole noodle to unpack, but I think the main gist of it, most food are safe. Now, there are two phases when it comes to these street food. One is in the early morning from 6 all the way to 9, and second is in the evening, which is around 6 p.m. all the way till late night or 2 in the morning. And usually in the morning, of course, there are breakfast foods such as baozi, changfen, youjiao, doujiang, basically easy to eat for you to consume in the office. And for the evening, it's your typical barbecue, oily noodles, basically anything hearty is on the table. The main reason why these street food are popular in the first place, they are doused with a lot of flavor, but the most important thing is the price. The price is as cheap as 3 RMB for a meal up to 15 RMB. Now, of course, it's a bit different when it comes to like late night kind of barbecue kind of deal. It could go up to 100. But the main gist of it, if you want to eat until you're full, expect to pay around 10 RMB in the morning or either 20, 25 RMB in the evening. Next, let's talk about the spawn point when it comes to any of these street food. Recently, they've been a bit strict when it comes to street food near the subway. So you can find it like maybe 100 meters, 50 meters away from the subway. And another part, if you see any construction nearby, typically around 12 p.m., you would probably find some street food, people selling noodles, fried rice here and there. And the third one is near heavily populated communities or either near business center. And usually in the corner or either in the middle of the street, you find a line of people selling their food. I'm not gonna make a comprehensive list on what you can eat in these street food, but typically you can eat Chinese food, Western food, Korean food, any type of cuisine you can probably imagine, there is a street vendor out there selling that food. But when it comes to breakfast, it is a bit limited to Chinese food only because that's what people are usually used to. Now, let's talk about the red flag when it comes to any of these vendors in the first place. Now, first, let's talk about you. You as an expat coming to China that haven't yet left the Western country should not eat street food immediately. You should try to eat in restaurants first before going into the whole street food phase, because most of the time your stomach hasn't yet been assimilated to the diet, the culture, and also the bacteria as well. Once like probably a 3-day pass after eating some restaurant food, I think your immunity could actually build up a bit and you can start trying out some street food here and there. Another obvious one is raw food, because some of these stalls do sell sushi or either pickled vegetable, pickled fish, pickled oyster, any type of deal that hasn't yet been cooked, avoid it. I think that's like 100% way for you to get sick the next day if you are new expats. And now let's move on to the more advanced one, and that is avoid cold food. But I mean by cold food is any street food that has been set out, laid out for quite a while, and it doesn't look like it's hot. Try to avoid it, because sometimes they would just leave it out in their stalls and drive around and catch up some dust, and this is a sure wayfire for you to get sick the next day. And when it comes to really small stalls, make sure their utensils doesn't have any rust or anything nasty gooey on top of it, because they're more like a nomad kind of stall where they go from one station to another station and they don't really have any repeat customers, so they don't really care much about the quality. And typically you can find them around like touristy area where it's just one-time customer, or either in subway stations and their stall is just like 2 pieces of crate and with like a stick holding them. And usually these are not that clean, and I'd say avoid it entirely unless if you're desperate or either really, really hungry. Yeah, I think that's about it. If you have any question, comment down below. I'll try to reply to you as soon as possible. And if you have any interesting stories or either I'm missing out on something, comment down below as well. I would like to know, so that way I can share with the whole community. Until next time, Soul Quest logging out. Peace.